Hello everybody. In this video, I'm gonna explain clearly what is a red letter credit in commodity trading and why should you use it as one of the most powerful, useful terms of payment and one of the safest too. A letter credit (LC) is simply a payment with a conditions. For example, you don't trust the seller and the seller don't trust you, so both you not really to do either two these things. You're not willing to send your down payment to the seller so that they could prepare the product, and the seller not also believe you to producing the products before they receive any payment because there's a risk of you refuse to pay them and all their product gone bad. So you guys decided, all right, so both are gonna use a letter credit to do these transactions. And on the letter credit, it say that if we receive the document and the buyer, the seller submit these documents to the bank, which proving that the product already shipped and on the boat, on the ship, on the tanker, whatever, right? The payment gonna be automatically releasing to the end of the seller without the risk of trust issue for both party. So how does this work? If we talk a little bit deeper of letter credit, there's gonna be a couple issue that could be a risk, a significant risk if you don't know how to receiving a letter credit that actually safe. It could turn into a risk. If a letter credit is revocable, which means that the buyer have a ability to cancel it, you're gonna be putting into the risk of maybe they not continue for going with that. It could withdraw at any times, and you're gonna producing all these products, and at the end of the day, you still on the risk if you're not negotiating and make sure that it's a non-revocable. So first of all, the LC, the letter credit, the term conditions need to be non-revocable, which means that no ability for the buyer to withdraw the contract, to withdraw that foreign payment. Secondly, the LC need to be the LC outside, the letter credit outside. Why? Because if you're not doing that, you're doing the term of 30 days, 15 days, 60 days, it doesn't matter. If you ship the product from your country to the other country as a commodity trader, as a seller, buyer, if you ship it and it is have the 30 days terms of payment, which means that even after you submitted our document, they still have the ability to withdraw the payment by doing a little bit shady stuff. So aside simply mean that whenever you submit a document, the money have to be receiving into your pocket. You're not gonna do 30 days, 90 days because it's gonna put you on the end of a really dangerous risk. So simply what they could do in order to put you into that risk is they sue you. They open a court order and they withholding the money. So the money gonna be never arrive to you. And these are two really notable risks when talking about the letter credit. So what the other thing that we haven't mentioned? So why is the letter credit is so safe? It's not just about the fairness in transactions. It's more than that. Let me give you some example. Even though if the buyer issue the letter credit and somehow he died, the next day he not on the planet anymore, and you already shipped the product, the money's still gonna arrive to you. Doesn't matter if his company bankrupt or if his company not operating anymore or he die. Because the basis behind the letter of credit is the bank gonna be the one who stand in front of the transaction to say that, hey, I'm gonna be the person who pay for you. And another thing that I forgot to mention is that the bank need to be a top bank. You don't want to receive any letter of credit from a bank that don't have the reputations, and you could check it, looking for the bank reputation online. If the bank is not on the top of 14 or 20 bank, that letter of credit it still could be good, but below that, there's a lot of risk involved into it. For example, there's a story that I heard a person's receiving a letter of credit from India Bank, and that letter of credit is not valid, and the bank not even dare to promising, even they promise they not process the transaction. And at the end of the day, you're putting yourself into risk. So that's another thing that you really need to put your mind on, is that the bank need to be reputable for the letter of credit to be extremely safe. So at the end of conversations, what I want to mention is letter of credit is really safe type of payment with conditions to make sure that both party receiving what they need to receive. And also, you need to focusing on getting a letter of credit assigned irrevocable, which means they cannot withdraw it. Assigned means you're gonna receive the money after you have done your work in getting the document. And lastly, is you need to make sure that the shipping is the letter credit from the reputable bank that on the top of the bank list. So that is letter credit. In next video, I'm gonna explain of how could you using the letter credit to selling a large amount of product without any fund needed.